my name is Daniel Gregersen, and in this video I'll give some updates to the interview questions that I just posted. I posted a blog about how to do interview based on I was doing an interview for a person at the company I'm working for that was helping out in some different project, and they wanted of course to have a good person to help them out. So there was a lot of generic text perspective on how you'd hire a person to do a job. It just wasn't that focused on the PI, so now it's a bit more focused on the PI. And then based on some of the comments, I've added some more details to this and some more distinctions. So when you're doing your interview, you obviously want to avoid hiring a person that's not relevant. So there's two types of questions you can ask. One is how updated are they on the technology knowledge. So that could be something like, how well do you know these new adapter technologies? How do you know the adapter proxies? How do you send this on the single stack? How would you communicate with a BPO project and those kind of things to make sure it works? And yeah. So that's one type of question. The other one is more generic. How well do you understand the technology and everything behind it? So it could be something like, how do you define the expressions in PI for routing a message? Mapping concepts. There's a lot of different. How do you understand these type of mappings and how they can be used? Multi-mapping and splitting a message into multiple payloads, what will that affect? How does the queue system of messages work? How can you understand it, and how can you explain it to me so I can understand it? And some of the comments that I got here was on the last blog was really relevant, because PI is a lot about communication now, how well you are able to communicate with all the other people in the organization and convey your ideas and the technology you have available to do certain kind of things. So it's not good enough that you just understand it yourself, but if you cannot convey it, so Jörg Tideman, I think it was, Tisman, was saying something like some generic questions like how do you apply a SOA strategy to accompany PI? How do you integrate a third-party system in a different country, which is, well, more from a process idea and how you understand process. I guess that's a third category. How do you attack this problem in this process? So, and then we also had, I don't know how to say it, it looks really weird, the name, when Inkana, that also wrote, much more specific about how the SFTP works, what kind of protocol, how do you understand what's an exception during execution, and those kind of things that if you've been working with PI for some time you must have seen, and that's about the experience. How much have you been involved with the PI? Have you just been doing something on it, or have you really been digging deep and figuring out how things work? So yeah, and then the other thing I put in is, well, you have the PI certification, and that's, or PO or whatever it's going to be called, and that's great because it says that you at least understand the full concept of the PI. You are able to read and study the materials that was given. But I can also see, based on my own experience at that time, hundreds of years ago, almost last century, that my experience at that point, even though I was certified, I wasn't good enough, and I had a lot of things to improve. So the certification says you're good at studying and you know how to all the different components, but you don't really know how to build an architecture that will work. What's a big overview of these kind of things. So I guess that was a lot of the different types of questions. Some other ones could be how to collect iDocs. There's multiple different ways to do this, both BPM, iDocs, that's the old approach. The newest approach is just to switch on the iDoc adapter and make it sure it can read the bundles. How do you develop proxies? That's something I would, well, not everyone had done that, but in some cases it may be relevant because, well, even though I'm not doing ABAP at that point in time, no one really knew how to do ABAP objects and proxies, so it's more like, well, this is how you do it, and then you just put in all your normal ABAP stuff in this, and then it's good to go. So that was how I was coding proxies first time. Yeah, how do you create a PO scenario if you're on that stack, and that's something you'd have to know. And what are 3 differences in creating a PO project compared to BPM projects. Yeah, that was some of the ideas. Lookups. How can you do a lookup to convert this value from this to this, and when would you use which kind of technology to do lookups? So yeah, I hope this helps. It's a bit fuzzy and stuff like that, but I hope that it gives some more ideas on what will be a good idea if you're doing interview questions, and on what you can put in on this. So please refer to this blog or the other blog if you have any comments on this, and I'm looking forward to hear how your interview questions, how well it works, or if there's something else that we really need to do when hiring PI consultant. So thanks, bye!